Hey you, you're super. Hey YouTube, Merch Hunter Ricky here, and let's get right into it. Our next devil fruit that we're going to talk about is the cloud fruit suggested by J Duck Blaster. So thank you for that, bro. I really appreciate it. Let's get into it. So the first thing we have to ask ourselves about devil fruits, and this is all devil fruits, so we have to ask ourselves, what are the strengths, weaknesses, functionality, practicality of the devil fruit? First things first, right away, with a cloud fruit, you have to ask yourself, are you going to be Zeus or are you going to be Nami? Because that's pretty much how clouds work in One Piece. And since we're doing a cloud fruit, we're just going to go straight up One Piece logic of clouds. The basic knowledge of how they work in our world plus pyrobloin, which is how they work in the One Piece world. Some clouds are heavier than others. Some clouds are literally solid compared to others. Now, as the cloud fruit user, we have two ways we can go. Do you turn into Zeus, right? And you're just a cloud person. Or, well, I guess you could say Khalifa too, but let's not do Khalifa. Or do you produce clouds in any way, shape, and substance the way you would like to? So I'm thinking that we're gonna go with the second option, but let's pretend to go with the first option first. So if the cloud fruit turns you into a cloud man, and you are like Zeus, you're a cloud human, well, I guess your first you're just a cloud. You can do whatever clouds do, which I kind of think is kind of useless compared to what it would do if it was in the hands of like the cloud fruit style of being like Nami's weather staff. So essentially you are the weather staff. You can produce clouds, you can make them have pyrobloin in them, so you can do Milky Dial, Milky Ball, all that good stuff. Or, you can put a Nimbus cloud underneath yourself like Goku and sit on it, pyrobloin. Or, you can go ahead and manipulate the weather and create your own clouds. Now with that, I don't know if you would be able to have access to thunder clouds and, emit lightning, because that is also a change of the outer weather affecting you. So let's say it is a hot day and you shoot a couple clouds out. Can you control the heat and the coldness of the cloud? That I'm not too sure about. I would say if you are, I would say that was just the natural, supernatural power of the devil fruit, because on top of most devil fruit's weird power, like, let's bring back Khalifa. On top of her soap, having, she creates soap, it also washes away your strength. So let's say with this devil fruit, you can actually go ahead and control the rate at which the cloud forms, its heaviness, its amount of pyrobloin, and I guess you could say you can change the weather around the cloud. You can make it a dark cloud. You can make it a light cloud. You can make it just a nice cirrus cloud. You can make it so that nobody can see you, or you can make it so that nobody can pass you. Kind of like how Smoker, because when you think about it, Smoke shouldn't be able to grab people the way it does. Maybe he has pyrobloin in him too. Or you get the ability to, emit thunder and lightning. But I don't know if that kind of gives the devil fruit that right. I feel like you would be able to just make rain, which honestly in and of itself is pretty OP. So you have multiple options to go with. However you want to design it, however you want to make it yours if you're doing a D&D campaign, let's go with that. There's many options to go with this cloud fruit. So that's a great choice, Jay. Hey everyone, this is mid-recording Ricky, who wants to apologize because I just realized if you could turn yourself into a cloud, like a literal cloud like Zeus, you could fly, you could float, you might be able to emit your own thunder and lightning at that point because you are the cloud. So let's not knock that version of the devil fruit, okay? And who's to say this devil fruit wouldn't give you access to both powers, because, devil fruits are kind of broken. Alright, now let's get a little ancient up in here. Let's talk about an ancient zoan type ancient zoan type devil fruit model giant sloth, aka megatherium. So when I was a kid, that was pretty much the most interesting thing at the Smithsonian Natural History Museum. It is a 20-foot tall sloth. The claws on it are so big that they're like roughly the size of my head. So I know what you're thinking. A giant sloth, really? Well, these things were sort of theorized to be like unkillable in most situations by like saber-toothed tigers, unless they got hunted down by like a pack of them, or if they got ambushed and pushed off to extinction by humans, which is what eventually did happen to them. However, we're talking about 20-foot tall man-beast form, roughly 20-foot tall full beast form, and in your full beast form, you can stand on your hind legs still, so you're not going to have the weakness that Jack did, being on, just being able to run forward and smack people with his trunk. These animals, there's not much known about them as they are extinct, but from what we were able to surmise about them, although they were kind of like, herbivores and not really, on the carnivorous, dangerous side of the animal kingdom, these ones were pretty well off. They were pretty unhuntable, like I said. It showed in the video I watched to research for this topic on Animal Logic, which is a great YouTube channel. You should subscribe to them. Essentially, it gives you as, let's go with man-beast form first. So in your man-beast form, you're going to be, let's say you go the full 20 feet tall, or half that, you get 10 feet tall, in addition to whatever height you were. So off the jump, that's crazy. You get the claws, you get the weird Kaku style head, probably. You wouldn't look as cool as Jabra, I guess. Now, it's also theorized if they had fur or not. There's a big debate on that. I'm going to go with saying they had fur. You're not really able to defend yourself as far as armor-wise, but if you have Tekai or Haki, or you're able to do both, then that's not really going to be a problem. Those claws alone are going to be your saving grace. Now, it's said that they had to walk with their claws curved inward to not do harm to themselves, so that's how dangerous those claws are to begin with. Now, I'm assuming back then the trees were also gigantic to match the size of the megafauna, and that being said, they probably used their claws to just rip through the bark and just crush the trees and, get whatever they needed to get, the leaves, the fruit, whatever. Now, you're using this for combat. Imagine those big people head sized claws doing finger pistol. Enough said, Now, full beast form. Jack had a weakness of not being able to stand up on his hind legs. I genuinely feel like if he was able to go into his man-beast form, which I don't know why they didn't show it to us, probably to show that he is a simple-minded, single-track mind type guy, but he probably would have been a little bit more of a threat. However, he didn't. It's not our problem. You are going to go into your man-beast form. You are going to use your full beast form as well, and you can switch between them because there's probably not much of a difference between them because, like I said, you can stand up on your hind legs as the megatherium, the giant sloth, and that's crazy. Most of these devil fruit users can't do that in their full beast form, not even Lucci. So, that being said, standing on your hind legs and just taking a fat swipe at someone in full beast form would obviously be a little bit stronger than your man beast form, right? You wouldn't even need to worry about doing finger pistol as long as you're in close enough range to bonk them. But, strengths and weaknesses, you have no armor, and these guys were hunted to extinction. So, that essentially means that you're getting whomped on all sides if you are not a Tekai user, if you don't have good armament hockey, if you don't have good observation hockey. So this devil fruit definitely comes with its strengths and weaknesses, but honestly, I would choose it. If I could, I would be Giant Sloth Man. That just sounds very fun to me. Like I said, when I was a kid, I loved being at the Smithsonian to see those creatures. Alright, now let's get a little heroic, because for this devil fruit, I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from My Hero Academia. But first I want to throw a disclaimer. There is a One Piece wiki with over 800 something devil fruit entries, and I checked a good chunk of them while I was doing research for this devil fruit. However, I noticed one glaring issue with the One Piece devil fruit wiki. It's a fanfiction based site that most, I want to say 90% of the devil fruits I looked at, they don't give a weakness to the devil fruit user. They just give the devil fruit user unimaginable power with no drawback, and that's just not how devil fruits work. So I don't want anyone to be thinking that I'm just going to the wiki and making these videos, because they've pretty much put just about every devil fruit on the planet on there. Or thinkable, imaginable, it's on there. However, like I said, most of these are done by 14-year-old kids, and unfortunately they're not thinking of how the devil fruit system in One Piece works. Think Khalifa again, just to bring her back up. Although she has all that power and she can, wash away your power, imagine trying to do that to a fish man. it's not gonna work very well. You know, all devil fruits have the checks and balances, have the strength, have the weaknesses. When you go on there, you see a crazy amount of devil fruits that just, like the one I'm gonna bring up, and I'll explain how they did it, they just don't give a drawback. Now, I'm talking about the fat fruit. Think fat gum from My Hero Academia. So, essentially, you're a fat human. You control the amount of body fat in your body, and you use it, and you store it, and you expend it. That's how I think it would work. On the wiki, get this, they say that you can generate like immeasurable amounts of fat, and that it makes you completely immune to all impacts. Like, what the hell is that? That is not even how fat works. Like, if you smack a sumo wrestler a bunch of times in the belly, although it won't really do much to him, it'll still hurt the outer skin. Like, they're not immune to shit. And that's not how devil fruits are designed or meant to be designed. So, like I said, screw the One Piece wiki, the fan fiction site that is, I'm not using it. So here's my take on the fat fruit. First, you have to be actually fat to use it. Or if you're skinny using it, you can use the help of the devil fruit to make you fatter. Now, why is that? Because one of the caveats of using this food is you're going to be hungry a lot, much like King Wapple and the Munch fruit. However, you won't be stricken with completely like debilitating hunger. You'll just be hungry. When you do eat, you get 100% of the nutrition derived from the food. Maybe double that. Now, why is that? Because that's how fat works. If you're not really getting all the nutrition from the food and you're just getting fat, you'll die, regardless of being a devil fruit user or not. If you generate a numerous amounts of fat with no repercussions, the strain on your heart would just kill you. Okay, so that being said, the way this fruit works, let's say you're a skinny person getting this devil fruit and you end up feeling like Brooke, like you got a useless devil fruit, right? So here's how it works. You eat and you eat and you eat and you eat, and then you eat some more until you start getting fat. Once you are fat, you can either choose to store the fat and go back to being skinny, or you can use the fat up in like one immense burst of speed or strength. That would be how this fat fruit works for me. If I should call it the eat fruit, let me know. If I should call it something else, let me know in the comments. If you have a devil fruit that you would like, or if you don't like the way I designed these devil fruits, let me know why. And if you like them, also let me know. So, you take a bunch of bites of food, you eat a whole bunch of meals. Like I said, you're just getting fatter and fatter. However, you're gaining nutrition still, and it doesn't create that much of a strain on your heart because you're going to eventually do one of two things. Store it or use it, or store and use. That's kind of how I designed this. I especially thought of it after seeing how York operates. Spoiler alert. If you know, I just won't even bring her up again. Sorry. However, so basically what I'm trying to get at is when you're using this devil fruit, you're just like, without trying to repeat myself, eat, store, use. So imagine in a battle simulator, you are fighting against someone with the ability to make their fists bigger or something like that, like Kendo in My Hero Academia. You have your fat stored up, right? So you can either blast it out, or you can just quickly take all of that fat that you have blasted out and punch her back, maybe belly bump her back, but the fat leaves afterwards. I don't think that it would be safe for the devil fruit user to stay a fat person. Like, that's not how, again, that's just not how One Piece works. Even Lucky Roo isn't using a fat devil fruit. He is just a fat person, but as you see in the databanks and all that, he's fast AF, boy. And if you've seen Film Red, spoiler alert, 1, 2, 3, he can roll himself into a ball and just go crazy. So it's not like his level of fat is not stopping him from existing. However, you probably wouldn't see him doing elongated foot races, because that's just not the reality. And despite One Piece being completely fiction, most people are bogged down by realistic restraints, except Zoro. Yeah, pretty much except Zoro. Zoro is a superhuman through and through. But at the risk of being repetitive, that's my 3 devil fruits. If you have any, let me know down below. If you like the video, Give me a like, I'd appreciate it. If you liked it so much you want to subscribe, I appreciate that too. Have a good day. Again, thank you for watching, and if you have anything else you would like to watch, I have a suggestion for you, and if you don't mind, throw me a subscribe. Thank you and have a good one.